Shalom. This is Reuben Ebrahimoff, the Haftorahman, and this week's haftara is a magnificent and exciting haftara. It is for the Parashat Be'ha'a'losecha. In Beha'alosecha, also this haftara is read for Chanukah, the first Shabbat in Chanukah. Beha'alosecha talks about how Aharon HaKohen lit the menorah. So we pick a haftara with a thematic connection, and also there's a menorah at the end of the haftara, a very famous one. But let's get started. Zechariah, who was this man? First, what's in his name? Zechariah, God remembered, and that he is a man who lived in the exile when you had from the first temple the destruction. The Persian Empire now Darius permits the Jewish people to return back to the land of Israel and the city of Jerusalem to rebuild the temple. He is part of those people with Zerubbabel and many other men of the Anshe Knesset Hagdolah. He has this vision, and it comes in his book Zechariah, which is part of the Trei Asar. The Trei Asar is Aramaic for the 12 prophets. So he comes from the book of the Trei Asar. And what he's saying is as follows. Rani v'simchi. Watch this, everybody. He's leading back everybody to the land of Israel. And they look at this rubble on the Temple Mount. Imagine this. And that they look at him and they're saying, what's happening here, Zechariah? He says, listen, you remember the past and you see what's right here, right now. Me, I see the future. I'm a Navi. And I'm telling you, Rani v'simchi, this place, we're going to rebuild it, and we're going to worship God here again. And then he says that all the Jewish people will even be escorted back with more people, that there will be this ingathering to the city of Jerusalem. More and more people are going to return. Part 1. Part 2, this trial between Yehoshua the Kohen Gadol, not to be confused with the successor of Moses. And Yehoshua Kohen Gadol is on trial. And it actually mentions there's an angel of God, the Satan, and him, and Zechariah is watching this. And they say, listen, what did you do to establish continuity? What did you do as far as your children go? You didn't bring up your children correctly. They did not marry well. You have to change your children. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. So he's on trial. It turns out in a measure of mercy, they decree, you know what? Everybody's allowed another chance in life. And they give this man another chance. And figuratively, he changes his clothing from the old clothes to put on the new clothes. And that he gets to be, going forward, the Kohen Gadol in this vision of Zechariah. The next part and the final part is actually the menorah part. And that is that he's in this meditative trance having a prophecy and he's groggy, and the angel comes to him and he says, what do you see, Zechariah? He goes, I'm not really sure, but he says to him, listen, this is a menorah with seven branches. And now this menorah has feeding into it 2 olive trees, and the oil comes from the olive trees and pours into the little trays or little couplets where the oil burns in the menorah. And this is the vision that the menorah is going to be lit, eternally lit, in the future, in the holy temple, where we're going to worship God. So this is a fantastic story. The famous thing about this menorah part is that we use this in the emblem of the state of Israel now. That's number 1. Number 2, I just want to come back. And it has 2 very, very famous psukim. One, it says that when they rebuild the temple, it says, Al even achas shiva einayim. On one stone, there's going to be 7 eyeballs. What does that mean? So one of the things that it means is that you have on each on the foundation stone of the temple, it has 6 sides, and then godliness has another dimension, the 7th eye, so to speak. And there's many Kabbalistic explanations of that, but that's one pasuk to remember. The next pasuk you should focus on is Ke'ud Mutzal Me'esh. It's like this fiery ember. When God expressed his anger at the Jewish people, He did not pulverize and wipe us out. He left a little twig burning from us, like this little ember. And from this, it gave back the opportunity for us to do teshuvah, repent, and rebuild the nation and come back to life. So it's always important to keep this in mind. We should always try to keep our cool. But even when we don't keep our cool, it's always good to do the implementation of whatever energy you're putting out there, not with both hands, with one hand. Because this way, the other person feels that you're willing to take them back, they can come back, they can reconnect with you. So, cutting off completely is not something we do. This way, it always leaves it open for reparation, repairing and moving forward. Shabbat Shalom, enjoy the Haftorah.